WIDR Kalamazoo.
This is Live, Loud, and Local, taking listeners inside the best live shows in Kalamazoo and beyond. This is 89.1 WIDR FM. You can listen live on widerfm.org or on the WIDR app. Hello, everybody. This is Karen. Karen, as always. I have no concert updates since my last recording, but I have two special guests with me. One I'm related to. And we're going to be going to the Saturdays at Your Place show at Bell's tonight. So we're really excited about that, but we'll talk about that later. My guest is like, oh my God, wow. But my guest today is Pedro or Pete or whatever name you want to be called.
Yeah.
From the Honey Pot. We were talking about this earlier, how you can't describe the band, but my best description of it was a garage rock band from Detroit, Michigan.
Nice.
Hi.
But, hola, bandita. It is nice to be on WIDR WIDR once again. I appreciate you and your sister.
Thank you. Leah, say something.
Hi guys, I'm Leah.
Give me an intro.
Karen's been telling me to come on this podcast for like ages. We tried a few weeks ago. We tried a few weeks ago and
the student center was closed.
The studio was just closed, so that didn't work. But I literally just got here. I'm sick today and ready to mosh and have my snot go everywhere in the mosh pit, I guess. Yeah.
But my main guest today, Leah will be just like hanging out and contributing when she does, maybe just sitting around since just like hanging out.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to have familia in the house, though.
I so agree. Leah's my best friend.
Actually, this is a weird coincidence because the Honey Pot is always and will always be about familia, and your sister happens to be here today.
Perfect.
Oh, wonderful.
Whoa.
Well, okay, so tell me more about that. Like the Honey Pot being all about family.
Just from the inception of the Honey Pot, which was for me around 2011, Nick, the lead singer, Nick Salden, the lead singer and guitarist, was famous for putting up these little quirky ads on Craigslist. Nice. And I'm kind of a Craigslist like trolley. I don't troll. I just I'm always on there like, what's new? Being that I'm a junkie for gear, I'm just always like searching to see what's on there. And I'll go to the musician one side, and then I would always see his because he would put like a cool caption to an older picture or something. Already kind of arty. So it got my attention. He fish hooked me, or he got me. And then I famously hit him up a couple times. They didn't know beforehand, though, that I had met up with a couple other cats that were just kind of like, oh, man, this sucks.
Boo.
Yeah. One was just like the cats were really young. They were all like 16. They lied to me. They told me they were like in their 30s or 20s. And then I was like, whoa, bros, you guys are really...
You guys are in high school.
Let me go get my aunt real quick. And I got in the car and dipped.
Yeah, I would have too. That's so understandable.
I felt so awkward to even say bye. I was like, oh, man. So then meeting, again, I was already kind of on the rebound. Mm-hmm. And then Nick was like, oh, come on, just come through. Right away, they were like, come through. We already got like 5 songs. We've been looking for basses, the right dude. I already like the kind of thing that we had going back and forth through emails. I even, right through that moment, I saw that he was real inquisitive and like really good with his words. Mm-hmm. Just in that little interaction, we didn't even play a note yet. So then I finally said, yeah, I'll show up. And they lived down on, is it Grant and Davis? Down in the student ghetto?
Down in the Vine.
Vine, yeah. So that's where the Honey Pot's creation is in the Vine. Like our whole,
wonderful.
We've even still
like everything comes
we get hit up like, oh, my cousin's girlfriend said that she was once at a party and there was Honey Pot stickers all on the wall. And we famously have these yellow stickers that we originally gave out, which Tyler, the drummer in the Honey Pot, Tyler Heike, shout out. He's my first shout out of the show.
Okay, we'll keep track.
Yeah. One.
Okay.
One.
Shout out Tyler Heike. He's I call him Tijuana Jake or Tijuana James. That's his little Mexican name for him. We're the rhythm sections. He plays drums and I'm the bassist of the Honey Pot. And we've always been the 3-piece core, Nick, Ty, and myself. But at the beginning, going back to meeting Nick on Craigslist, I finally show up. He immediately shows me his right-hand man is this cat named Kevin Orlick. Kevin is definitely if we were the Beatles, because everybody wants to be the Beatles reference.
Everyone wants to be the Beatles.
Yeah, don't we all? Was there ever a female group version of the Beatles? No.
I guess you can does like Yoko Ono count as like the
Yeah.
female Beatle?
She had some like anger issues, man. There's one take where like John's killing it. Is it John? Yeah, Lennon. He's killing it, and she's like in the background just like I was like, whoa, dang.
I support the
Senora,
female lead.
yeah. Art is art, but dang, holy crap. But it is what it is. So Kevin is definitely he was definitely what's Paul Ringo? What's the fourth?
George.
He's our George Harrison.
Gotcha.
This is crazy. This literally just happened with my roommates. We were like, who's the fourth Beatle? And we couldn't think of it. Yeah.
Very spiritual, like yoga-y.
He was chilling.
We know a thing or
his
two about
first
that.
sound I heard him say was Gia, Gia, Gia. And when him and he's down in California. He's a teacher in California. Shout out Kevo. Wait, did I write two?
Dos.
Two shout outs, Kevin Orlick. And him and I, at first I was kind of afraid of him because he was very out the box. Like, whoa. Like, I thought I was out
Like
the
loud personality?
No. He came here to Western. He was at Western here. He was doing, I think, art. He was in the art program here.
Okay.
And very like already LA, like, bro, Surfy, what's up, bro?
Okay.
Yo, Pito. He's the one that immediately was like, Pito, what's up, bro? It's like we already know each other. He had told me he had a couple neighbors or somebody he knew that was Latino. And he kind of already had the like Spanglish already from day one. It was already kind of like, and that to me, being Latino has always been kind of like, all right, I'm at least I'm amongst somebody that kind of gets me a little bit. It
No,
might-
that
at
100%
the slightest
makes
amount,
sense.
but at least I feel comfortable, and he made me feel comfortable right away. So that's why he's our George.
Gotcha.
Nick is definitely Lennon. Nick,
Okay.
like Nick is, and we have always affectionately called him Master. Not in the sense of like he's opposed, but Master in like samurai lore.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, thy master. Yeah, and to this day he always hates it. But well, me and Ty went like, hey, Master called and practice this Wednesday like at 6. Better not be late, baby. I'm always calling them baby boys. Yo, baby boys. Master said like.
Oh, that's so
and we all
fun.
kind of, but he is also, I believe, like Wolfgang and all those old cats. They were music masters and masters of the.
Yeah, it's a.
So to us, it's an honor.
Yeah.
We've always had kind of this Asian kind of to us because Nick in college, while he was there at Western, went overseas to, I believe it was China.
Okay.
Because we have a song called "Big Man, Little China"
Gotcha.
off the Way CD. And we'll get into that later.
Yes.
And that was based off his travels when he was over there. He knows full-blown Mandarin. And
It's like the hardest language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I said like hello right there, but I may be wrong. But like his is as impressive as my Spanish game is. His and Mandarin is on.
Yeah, his
point.
Mandarin
Shout
is
out
like it's
Nick selling on your Mandarin
Tres.
game. Shout out Nikki. Oh, and I guess this is the moment where, because your sister's here and I just reminded me of family, I should have immediately shouted out my family. This one goes out to the Familia Villa.
Cuatro.
You guys are everything to me and continue to inspire me. But yeah, this one goes out to the Familia Villa, and you know who you are. Anyway, back to the story. So I'm meeting them. Kevin's dope. Ty, quiet. He's the drum. I didn't realize he was the new drummer. He went from the original bassist to drums.
Gotcha.
And then they had a cat named Andy. He was just on your podcast because he's in a new band, Spray Can.
Oh,
He's the drummer for them.
really?
Andy Ringo, yeah. It was so.
Oh my God.
It's all very
Crazy.
weird. how
Tiny little world.
Yeah. So Andy
Yeah.
used to drum for them, and then
Wow. Yeah. First Aid Spray, they were killer when they came on.
I did my homework. I saw I was like, I got to know what I'm getting into. So I did. I did a little dig on how you were interviewing, and I was like, I got to do my homework. Still that
Of
dude.
course.
And I'm the nerdiest cat you're gonna meet, who kind of looks the way I do.
Hey, what does nerdy even look like nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like they were killer when they were on. That's that tiny world.
Yeah. So and then there was a shift. I don't know why there was a shift. And that's why right when I'm coming in. And then they originally also had a female singer, Lizzie. Lizzie I only met once at a party after we got together as a 3-piece.
Mm-hmm.
So right when I'm meeting the band, a bunch of things are happening. It's already this whirlwind of like, we have old music. Lizzie's not in the band anymore 'cause she's trying to like move on. I don't know if she's even going to come to practice. But Nick right away was like, but I've been always kind of wanting to do lead vocals anyway. I'm going to just step up. So it was a bunch of shifting of positions, and I just was like, okay. I just assumed
You're like, I'm just the new guy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And then to get to Nick, we got Nick, Kevin, and Ty, and that's a 3. Then myself, and that's the original form that I knew them. I knew that they had a girl in the past that was Lizzie. That's all I knew of her.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, we meet her later on. She comes to show famously and is really. I almost cussed there. Oh. Really taken by alcohol, and she's under the influence.
Gotcha.
And she's kind of like, you guys sound all right. And Nick was like, that was kind of her nice way to say, keep it going. Like,
nice.
There wasn't jealousy, but there was like,
it was like, wow, y'all are actually like good.
yeah, like, kept it together and they kept it moving, and it actually sounds good. And we talked about her coming and jamming and like maybe doing tambourine or just to get herself back into it, but she never showed back up. And the story just kept moving because we're always in that motion of just keep it moving.
Gotcha.
And so you guys all right, so that's the main 4. And then at that moment, the very next day, Nick hits me up that first day. I'm meeting him for the first day, so this is all coming together for day 1. And Nick's like, oh, by the way, tomorrow we're on WIDR.
Nice.
And I was like, I had been here obviously in Kalamazoo. I knew what WIDR was.
So when was this? What year was this?
This is 2000. And so Nick said the band originally got together in 2008 with Lizzie in that first
the first iteration
of it. Ooh, nice word. Love
Thank
word.
you.
Big words are Della. Especially, never mind. Oh. I brought him an instrument.
I love it.
That was almost a McDonald's song.
Yeah, I know it really was.
It was. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Wait, will we get for they won't like come down and
Copyright?
like, hey, bro.
No, it wasn't even the whole
You guys took
thing.
our song, bro. I'll change it a little bit.
There we go.
That was a kazoo. Obviously, this is all audio, right?
Yeah, this is all audio, no video.
For your listeners, I busted out a Kalamazoo kazoo because they're made here in Kalamazoo.
Oh, nice.
This is from the student or the little. There's a little museum here for kids. Discover Kalamazoo.
Oh, like the
and
yeah, like the
kazoos
children's
are made
museum.
in Kalamazoo. Knowledge. I'm dropping knowledge.
I actually didn't even know that. Yeah, it's like green and yellow. It's real cute.
Oh yeah.
Ladies, I'm dropping some knowledge on you.
Sorry, I was trying to keep that all secretive. I may or may not have more instrumentation in that bag.
I'm so excited.
Which is also a luchador mask.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is all. I have no idea what kind of instruments he's about to pull out of here.
bag.
So this is even like all new to me at this point.
I come with the surprises.
Good.
There may or may not be some merch for you ladies. And then I thought it was also
Wonderful.
important later on to dabble into the physical art that goes into making each album cover because I do it by hand.
Ooh.
I think that, and I love and obviously honor and like, look, we're being surrounded by technology.
Mm-hmm.
This mic is capturing me right now, and this is a dope room, by the way.
No, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shout
out the Grove Studios. Shout out number 5.
5.
Oh, we're up there. Because this very much looks like the little studio that we practice in Ypsilanti. So shout out Grove Studios in Ypsi. If you know, you know. And then where are we at with the boys? So we're meeting the boys. Oh, day 2. They're day 1. They're telling me, yo, mañana, tomorrow, we're on
going to
WIDR.
WIDR.
I'm like, wait, what? Like the radio station? They're like, yeah. You guys had a basement show. It was called the Basement Show.
Yes.
In the old building?
It was in Flossie.
Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, because being Latino, I was kind of like, oh. And I looked it up and I was like, is it Fossey? Faucet?
Yeah,
I'm going to wait for her to say it first.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 different variations of like how people
So
pronounce it.
to me, that's the OG spot because that's what I was picturing today until I saw this gem.
Yeah, and this is as of this year. This is super, super new.
I was telling the boys in the band, I was like, dude, I went and scouted this area out 2 days ago.
Okay.
My girl came and she came here too as well to Western. And I'm like, yo, it looks like a UFO just landed and like it's a dope building. Like,
Yeah,
glass,
it's like, wow, look at this.
curves. I'm like, yo, dang, slants.
Yeah, very
yeah,
like,
chia.
woo.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
was
like,
walking in, I was like the curve of this
Oh, yeah, 'cause
random
this is-
wall, and I'm
yeah.
like, wow.
The wind though hit me in one area. I was like, "Yo, está frío." I was like, "Dang." Be Latino, that coat hits you like on a whole nother level. Like it's in my bones.
Oh, that's
baby.
so funny because
We're
even
Northerners.
like we're so Northerners. Like my sister's wearing a tank top right now, and I'm wearing a sweater, and I'm like sweating to death. I was sweating to death outside, and it's about 50 degrees
It's
outside.
Sweat
so
rat.
hot
I literally,
today.
I'm a sweaty boy too. I'm always like, "Yo, I gotta make sure I look presentable in front of anybody, not just ladies." But
We don't discriminate.
Yeah,
We don't discriminate.
I want to be honest. Like, I get hit on a lot by gentlemen, and it kind of feels nice.
I feel like it's more of a compliment.
It is. They're always like, "Pedro, your swag, your look, the way you carry yourself." I'm like, "Thank you,
True.
touche." And you're very beautiful, man.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah, I have a very beautiful mom and sister, and shout out Elizabeth and Marta Villa.
6?
6 and 7.
6 and 7?
We'll do it 2 for 1.
Okay.
They're pretty much
Okay.
the same person, mom and sister. We'll get in. That's a whole nother podcast if we were to get into that. Love you, Lisa. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh,
You were talking about wider day 2.
day 2. Yes, we're at Wider. Day 2. We're coming. We're at the old building, and then you guys had that basement show. It was set up to do 3 songs. We had 2 down that we were like, Pedro, you can do the 2.
Mhm.
And then the third one, Nick has also always been this character in the band where he'll throw a wild one at us.
Nice. Be like, do you remember how to play it?
We played, I think, a song that we made up on the spot.
Ooh.
It was like C to A, and it was girls like boys.
nice.
Boys who like girls who like cars who like something or something. And it was boys like girls. Boys like, and we had acoustics. I think that.
Okay.
No, that might have been, yeah, because I think we did the basement show was the full band, and I was kind of surprised that we were like, yo, we're going to like max. We're also famously, even in the early days from the inception of the Honeypot, we like crank it. Like the
Good.
amps are on 10. Rock and roll is rock and roll.
Yeah.
I figured like that's the way to kind of be. We've now, as with age, we're realizing that we can craft that same ambient wall of sound that's coming
But
at
you
you.
can turn it down 20%.
Yeah, because there's also really cool juxtaposition when it comes to dynamics and the taking away or the giving so much of it that the brain becomes so like, and then you change the dynamic on them and you give them a sense of like, I almost now, the way we write music is like, I want the audience to feel love. How can we translate that
Nice.
in the song? Not per se what
That's
we're
so poetic. I love that.
yeah, hard. Dang. I struggled with getting ladies in high school. I don't know what was a problem. I should have just been more honest, I guess.
You're so right. Girls in high school, they don't know what's going on.
No, and I'll get into it with my hometown. We moved around a lot too before I even met the Honeypot.
Yeah.
So this is day 2. We're here. I'm grateful we make it. We do the 3-song thing. We're leaving. We're on this great high, and then I think that night we also had like 2 house shows.
Wow.
Because I remember the first one, it was so packed, and it was, I think, somewhere on Wallwood. Because we also had our first, we had a couple of practice spots down in the Vine area, but we famously practiced up on the Wallwood Road that's next to the practice field.
Oh, nice.
And it's a really high-pitched road. We were the last house on the left, so parking and like winter was such a
Disaster, I bet.
well, I almost just burped. My bad. But anyway, I also come with sound effects. I haven't even busted those out yet.
You gotta.
I've always been that kid, like But maybe we should have ran it by Dan that I was going to do all this extra.
That is A-okay. He'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Later on, he's going to be like, bro, you didn't tell me I had all this homework too. My bad, bro. Shout out to Dan, the sound engineer here in the studio at WIDR.
Shout out Dan.
Shout out
Is that
number
8?
7.
8, 10.
I thought it was 8.
8. Damn, ladies.
Maybe I can't count,
Sister,
guys.
come on, sister.
Hey, you know more math than I
It's
do.
been a long week, bro. It's midterm season.
Oh, yeah,
Can't count anymore.
Enough of me. You guys, a little break from the Honeypot. How are you guys doing?
I'm chilling. I'm looking for a job right now.
I'm also looking for a job.
Whoa,
I'm graduating this semester, so this is like,
congrats.
thank you. Long time coming. 2 degrees.
What?
They
are?
an advertising degree and then a sociology degree. Yeah. So I'm a lover of school. I'm sad that I'm not doing school anymore, but time to enter the real world, you know?
It is scary, and I think that's why I wanted to be here too today. I am older than you guys, which in my culture, being older is, we don't say even getting older, it's getting more grande. And it's almost like in that feeling that you're getting closer to the sun, but theoretically, obviously.
Yeah.
You're becoming more of yourself as you get older, and I finally remember my 20s and being here and trying to figure out that like next step, and like being like we're on the edge of the cliff and like, oh crap, like I know what's beyond that thing, and really I gotta go that way.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of coming.
And I've always kind of fought the mold all along my life, all along the way up, even up to the honeypot, fighting that mold of being everything that everybody else is and expects you to be. Being Mexican American, I was always trying to figure out who I was, and still am to this day. It's very hard for me to sway to one way or another. It reflects in everything that I do. But I also, along the way, being nomadic. Shout out Project Nomad. That's the migrant program I went to.
Shout out Project Nomad.
Yeah, Project Nomad. And that's all the brown-eyed children of the sun, which is a really cool way to say it.
Thank you. I was
Oh,
holding him 9 fingers just for the audio
Thank you, girl.
people because that was shout out number 9. But thank you. I painted them because I'm going to Florida next week.
What? Where?
So Disney, I've never been. One of my friend's grandparents are bringing us. So.
We went my senior year. The band, I was in the high school band, and they
Like the marching band?
Yeah. So
let's go. Both of us were too.
what'd you guys play?
We're both in college marching bands.
Yeah, I'm in the college marching band. I play alto.
What?
I played trombone.
I was a P1, a snare.
Nice.
Yeah, percussion.
Yeah.
Damn, we could. That's another.
That's a whole other
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, we're here for the honeypot. All right. Yeah, because I would love to tell you all the up until the honeypot, but I'm here for the honeypot. So we're meeting the honeypot. Day 2, where are we at? We just played it.
Day 2, you just finished the 3 songs. Now you have 2 house shows to go to.
Yeah, and I know that first night we were down in the student ghetto because somebody kept tripping the. All the power was like to one cable, and there were so many kids that they kept tripping the power. So in the middle of our set,
disaster.
Yeah, it would get cut.
Oh,
but we were
goodness.
that was those years where, and we get a lot of compliments now that we're really tight. Obviously, 13 years in makes you pretty tight.
Yeah.
But also, that's a baker's dozen. I'm the son of a baker. We'll get into that. Shout out my father, Pedro. Whatever shout out that is.
Is that 10?
10? I think we're 10. Yeah, my dad. And this is episode number 10.
This is episode number 10.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
For you kids at home, that's yes.
Yes, there we go.
And so we're doing the house show. Gets tripped, and those years, like I was saying, it really got us tight because you got to think on your toes. It was improv and you guys, well, ladies, you guys are in band. You can't just let the show go to waste. Like
no,
the show must go on.
You have to make a decision in 4 seconds.
And then when we started to realize that there was also venues here in Kalamazoo, there's also a lot of venues. I heard you on another podcast that things come and go, bands come and go. Yeah, I did my homework. Dang. And you were right in the sense that like. Even when we first started, there was a group of bands that were already like hot here, and like there's some that still here. Shout out Jake Simmons, our boy Jake Simmons.
Nice.
He knows Katie, and he's also in Katie Needs a Life. We just did the Dorm Mouse Theater.
Did you really?
Yeah, the 29th in December. We did the Dorm Mouse. Originally, that's when I hit up Mateus, your guys' director.
Shout out Mateus. Yeah,
shout out Mateus. And
Number
I already
11.
Yes. I gave him some merch already on the side out, but ladies, you stay tuned.
Yeah, Matthias has really helped out this show because something with this show is I reach out to all these bands and I'm like, please come on, I want it to be all about you. And they say, okay, maybe later.
Yeah.
And then they never respond.
And I heard you talk about that on the other thing where you're right. It's even so we're in the micrism of Kalamazoo. Now think Detroit, because Detroit's that much bigger and that much more hungry than it is here. And it's been perfect practice to take what we're doing here and then go over there and do it on a bigger platform, a bigger stage per se. Especially with the pedigree that Detroit comes with. It's rock
definitely.
And roll. It's MC5, it's Ford, it's the assembly line, it's Motown. It's all that, and all that. We don't take that to heart because we know that now rides on our shoulders. As little as you want to claim it, or as much as you want to claim it, one day, and this will always live on. This interview will live on. It'll be
YouTube
right now,
will
I'm
never
speaking
go
to
away.
all planets. Ooh, I just bumped the mic.
Thank God.
No, you'll be fine.
We love YouTube.
Sorry, Aaron, I bumped
We
your
love
mic.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Shout out YouTube.
definitely.
Shout out number 12.
Yeah, shout out YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel, the Honey Pot. So here's a little tidbit. This is our first little extra. The Honey Pot Music is always our handle for everything, I think. So the Honey Pot Music on Instagram, YouTube, I think even Snap or whatever your little
Nice.
vice is. It should be. And if not, search. Do a little searching. I still
Just Google a little bit.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
that
yeah.
hard.
It's a little work. We famously there's another Honey Pot in UK, and we've hit them up.
Yes.
We get this a lot because they get their music confused with ours. Ours gets confused with theirs. We've even hit them up and said like, "We'll buy you guys out." Well, I don't even think they play anymore. They just won't take down their socials and their things. And it's like, we get it like, oh, are you guys the 5-piece like band with the 2 ladies and the ukulele? And like,
No, because I did the exact same thing. Like researching this, I looked you guys up on YouTube and I'm like, okay, I don't think this is it. And then I was like, okay, the Honey Pot Music. Because it wasn't like your logo. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But then I found the logo. I'm like, okay, so there's multiple bands that are called the Honey
And
Pot.
thank you for noticing the logo. We do, even we've been blessed from the beginning. Our original sticker, shout out Tyler. Again, he's my first double shout out.
Perfect.
Yeah. Double shout out.
First double shout out Tyler.
Does that count in our, like we
no,
have
no.
12? Okay.
Let's leave.
Okay,
let's leave. Yeah.
We'll do
Tyler,
like-
you already
it'll be
got
like-
one, Ty.
Number 11, part 2 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the only one that got a double dose. But Ty was in the. I think I left that part out. He was also in the art department, but he did stickers. He was like and one day he comes to practice and he has the world's biggest roll of stickers that
Nice.
he was like, bro, they're gonna go on. I did he hustles fans for saying I did the stickers. Anytime we're acknowledging the things we've done for the band, he's always in the background. I did the stickers,
I did the stickers.
which we love, Ty. And they were real catchy. We used like a Cooper black font, which is like the same font that Garfield has in the 70s, and I think even Cheers.
That's where I've noticed
Yeah,
it.
it's a very like we did our study like what is going to get someone even artistically in those days. We were already like what can without saying anything to somebody.
Oh,
how
as
can
someone
we
in
already get
advertising,
you?
you're speaking my language.
I didn't even realize it is advertising.
Yeah, that's all
Senora,
creative
senora,
department and like
senoras.
how can we make someone feel something without saying anything,
Maybe.
you know?
I haven't finished my degree, so maybe I'm in the wrong spot.
You
What
gotta
are
go
you
into
studying?
advertising.
So I've been going. I've started off at KBCC. I was doing communications and broadcasting because
Okay.
since the inception, I was like, if I'm not going to do music in the sense that I thought I had 2 decent. To not take away from the Honey Pot, but you got to know the Honey Pot. You have to know me.
Yeah.
So I guess
I think this is about you
this
and
a
the
good
Honey Pot.
Yeah, the good deviation. I was in 2 pretty decent bands, even in high school. When I was 17, I started my first band. We were called Stuck Shut, and we were from Bangor, small town Bangor. And that's where I wanted to get in the years. Like, as much as I love small towns, it was kind of hard growing up in small towns, being Latino. I got hated on a lot, and it was because of my talents. Also, being musical in those years, I hit a lot of myself through sports. I let myself become this like athletic person that I wasn't really. But once the ball rolled, I was like, oh crap, I'm now the captain of the football team. And oh crap, they want me to go to K College and play football at K, but I really don't know.
You're like, I actually don't like football.
Yeah, what? And like Koza the whole time, aka shout out Koza, my original band teacher. Is she 13 or 12?
13.
Yes.
Yeah.
Koza got 13. Oh, Koza. Yes. Koza is a redheaded like senora. When she was our band teacher, she was a very well-figured senora. She got some lipo done. So when I first met her later on in my like later years, she looked so skinny that I
you
didn't
were like,
recognize her.
I don't recognize
And
you.
like, yo, girl, you've always been. She liked Tigger. For some reason, she liked the character Tigger.
Oh yeah, like
Winnie the
so
Pooh?
all the yes.
Yeah.
And I'm in the honey pot. Winnie the Pooh. Whoa, weird.
That is kind of crazy.
Whoa.
You guys should make merch with
Whoa.
Honey the Pooh on it.
We in our early years we got like the bee thing and the honey thing a lot. And Nick famously was like, dude, if I see another honey cone or another reference to bee wax,
That's so funny.
so we've always after those years we did kind of like pull away from it.
Yeah, you did it
But
for an
now
era.
retro
Winnie
is
the
in.
Pooh would be like
Right?
a
Would you-
little different off of the
And
just regular honeycomb.
I have some of the older merch that I wasn't able to get. Some of the new merch that we are rocking now, which is like 90s retro kind of vintage. It looks like you've already worn it is in. So Nick has all our
definitely.
newer merch in Detroit right now. So, but I got you some old gems that like
I
no one's
like
gonna have.
I like an old gem.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
if you rock
biased
this,
to
no
an
one's
old
gonna
gem.
ever have these anymore because I only have the old ones left.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to, since I was the art department per se in the band,
Yeah.
I did all the merch originally. I've now delegated it off to Nick because like Nick also kind of artistically wanted his own hand in it.
Gotcha.
And like I'm not ever one to be like, yo, this is my thing.
Yeah, you're like,
You're the-
whatever,
you're
if
the
you
lead
want to do
singer,
it, go
Yeah,
crazy.
you do the lyrics. You're pretty much the whole. And then we've always looked at the band as like that compartmentalized, or we know that like certain departments work together in the greater whole. The sum of all the whole is better than the individual. I've always also said, and even from the beginning, the music does the talking. Like I can sit here and tell you guys story upon story upon story and have you guys socially like us, but at the end we're a band, and what bands do is make music, and what music does is move you. If I move you in any way, good, bad, up or down, scratch it, reverse it, turn it, I've done my job.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this day and age, we live in a world where we can multi-exist. I have a different life outside of the band. I have even a profession. So I was saying, secondary, I almost got my associates.
Gotcha.
I'm like, I think 3 credits shy.
Okay.
I've also been, this is probably old movie reference, Van Wilder. I've been so long at KBCC that like the younger cats like you ladies are coming in thinking I'm the professor. 'Cause I'm starting to get to that age where I'm like, oh, dang, you guys think I'm the teacher? Hardo? Like, yes,
No,
dope.
sorry.
But that also kind of intrigues me because if I were to get into a professional, like my mom loves to say, a real job. Shout out Marta again, but she's my second double, but it should have been my first double because it's my mom. So she has infinite shout outs.
There we go.
I'm doing another one for you. Shout out my mom, Marta Villa. Shout out my biggest and toughest critic that I have. She's also famous for like, hey, ¿estás haciendo dinero? Which is Spanish for you making money. Like, come on, Mom. Art isn't about money.
See, moms always be like that.
Yeah.
They're
And
always
then-
like, okay, so you're getting off the payroll. You're getting off the.
And on her side,
where's your health insurance?
on her side of the familia, all musicians.
Oh, okay.
My godfather, I was telling you earlier,
Yes.
is a musical. I think he's got to be 78, and he's still traveling.
He
gig
plays
to
the
gig.
saxophone,
Sax, yeah.
So
You guys are
cool.
into it too. Makes sense. So, biggest influences for me personally, before I even heard any American music, was that uncle, and then I have another uncle, my uncle Amador, who are, is it Amador? Yeah, I almost forgot my uncle's name.
Oh,
Real.
Because I have another uncle named Amadeo, and those names are dope. Amadeo sounds like Amadeus.
yeah.
Yeah, like dang, it's my uncle Carmelo. My mom's side has 14 brothers and sisters, so big old family.
Big family.
Big old family. Shout out Rodriguez Flores. I even did the duel.
There we go.
Yeah, the full. If you know, you know. We all come from a little indigenous town in Mexico, El Guerrero, El Mogote Guerrero, Mexico. Shout out El Mogote Guerrero, Mexico. That's my first like. You guys, please Google it. Do yourselves a favor. Google El Mogote, EL space MOGOTE, Mogote, El Mogote. And it's my mom and dad's house is right next to the town church. So
Nice.
like the background of my parents' house in Mexico, which we have a house in Mexico, is like, oh, it's the most beautifulest picture. I'm a painter, obviously, as well, and I can never like.
It's just
I
so
eat that.
picturesque
Yeah.
and like, wow.
Yeah, that word, picturesque.
There we go.
Yes, a lot of people also ask me like the influence in my color palette for art, and it's Mexico. It's all the colors that exist naturally in the Mexican floricultural pantheon is like what I eat fuchsia, neon. Every color I rock is something that I've seen in Mexico naturally made.
Yeah.
And that to me, so El Mogote is in Estado de Guerrero, which is Spanish for warrior state. Guerrero means warrior.
Gotcha.
And then my bloodline is Aztec, so we're Aztec.
Okay.
Aztec origin. And then to make it even way trippier, my great grandfather on my dad's side is Pancho Francisco Villa,
Nice.
the famous war general,
Wow.
Revolutionary War general. He had a lot of how do you nicely say on the radio, offspring.
Gotcha.
Up to 200 and some.
Okay.
And counting. I guess contraceptives weren't a thing back then. Shout out my great
Shout
grandfather.
Shout out contraceptives.
Yeah, Dave, bro. Come on, son.
That's 14 and 15.
Sorry, abuelito. But great abuelito, by the way. But yeah, and that to me has always brought a sense of honor that like my last name Villa means a lot, and especially when we go back to Mexico, the look that kids random, oh, you're Villa and you're from Pancho, and like immediate respect, and that to me
Nice.
has always weighed heavy on me. I kind of sometimes have equated it to being like not an important person, but like maybe Princess Diana in them. Where like,
Gotcha. We're like
kind of royalty,
yeah, like
but
like royal family, but like
yeah. But
they're just hanging out. They're just them.
being that it's my family, we're kind of like hood, so it's kind of like we're not the kids that got all the inheritance.
Yeah, it's not like the elite or whatever.
I'm a bastard great grandson of Pancho Villa, so we just got the last name, and that to us is already honor enough.
Yeah.
I remember my dad got some sort of plaque that said we were of descendants of.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. But to me, that was like enough to be like, oh, I guess the last name is something. Also, I've always told my boys, like, I'm the Mexican like Kennedy. We're the Mexican Kennedys. Guys.
There we go. That's
Yeah,
a good way
like,
of putting it.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, I just equated us to the Kennedy. Shout out to Kennedys. Shout out to Kennedys out there. Yo, I got to get those Americans to love us as well. It's not just Mexican.
Let me tell you, your personality's already enough. Like I'm having
Thank
the time
you.
of my life
Yeah.
here.
It does feel good being amongst sisters. Like I feel already at ease.
Good.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah.
just your guys' vibes.
Let's see. Our vibe is punching each other. Well, it's more me
You guys went
punching
through
you.
There
Still-
was like,
still physical?
still. It's because we didn't really grow up with like
What's the age
technology.
difference?
She's
2
2 years
years.
younger than I am.
Okay.
Like, you were having like, was it a birthday party?
I was having it was my birthday party.
And then like we started like wrestling on the ground, and all of her friends were like, "What is going on?"
No, and then my roommate Concetta, she was like, "Did you guys grow up with like technology?" And we're like, "No."
We
And
didn't
she-
either.
Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, that's why you punch each other," because she saw it like in her little cousins.
Oh.
And she was like, "Wow, you guys just," and
I'm-
like our parents turned off
I'm
cable.
glad. I was a little
and, like,
scared coming in that you guys are going to be so tech savvy like I see around here. And there's nothing against that. Just being now that I'm
but
a
it's
little
more
old,
intimidating.
It is now that I'm being older, and eventually I want to end on. That's the only thing that I think that the honeypot needs ayuda or help in is that
It's some tech stuff.
is the new like we got the goods, but we just need help getting these goods out to
Gotcha.
everybody. Yeah.
You need a TikTok strategist.
So, like I barely do snaps and Instagrams and stuff like that, and I'm the oldest cat in the band. Like I have to break out of my mode to even like help, and like I now see also the importance of followers, and like certain shows don't open up to us yet because we don't have the
yeah, you don't have the
following.
followers or
And,
like the listeners on Spotify.
Yeah,
or,
and I know that I don't want to get negative either in the music scene and what it is and how it's always morphing, but bands will love to tell you that it's communal and a community thing, but well, you ladies are in band. Even in high school band, I wanted to murder the next band and get the one at state.
yeah.
And I don't care who tells you what. Like, that was our prerogative.
Yeah.
That was the mission at hand. Koza came at us. Shout out Koza again. She's also like my mother, so she gets unlimited.
There we go.
She was like, yo, we got to get one. Just the music speaks for itself. Boom, boom. And I've always had that veracity and intent with the honeypot, so much so that now all of us in the honeypot have that same, and we're all ex-members of some sort of collegiate or high school. I was an ex-quarterback,
Gotcha.
basketball player.
Yeah, like sports or
Nick-
band or
Nick was a boxer
organization.
in Detroit.
Cool.
Golden Glove, like just
Wow.
that cat can square up. We'll leave it at that. Do your research. And then Tyler played hockey and golf.
Okay.
Tyler and his dad to this day, shout out Mr. Heike. Tyler's dad is so supportive of us. He has countless times has let us use vehicles, equipment. He's got a construction building in downtown Detroit that he's let us rehearse in.
Nice.
So shout out Mr. Heike. He's our first dad. I think he was our first
Let's
fan
go,
dad.
dads.
They have fan dads out there.
We love our dad.
Yeah.
We love our dad.
We love dads.
Yeah, of course. I remember my high school band. I was in the Stuck Shut. I was in this band called Stuck Shut High School. The inception of that band was your typical. I got my heart broken my senior year in high school. It was the first major breakup.
Typical.
It was. That was like, and I started dating her my freshman year, and it was like, she groomed me to be. I was very astute. I've always had game in the knowledge. I love knowledge. I didn't know how to like craft it. I didn't know. She showed me even how to like, as simple as this was, note cards and taking notes.
Yeah,
And-
like skills to like gather
so
it.
I think I left out the part. English is not my first language, so I'm in like third grade, moving around a lot. Fourth grade, moving around, going to school.
Because you were a migrant worker,
Yeah,
correct?
so we were migrant workers growing up here in West Michigan. Shout out the migrant program. Shout out all migrantes. You guys have a real cool program here at Western, the camp program.
Yeah, I actually just learned about it like a week and a half ago in my my race class.
So this is
that
a
I'm
weird
in.
twist because the only job I've ever been denied in my life is the director for the camp program here.
Interesting.
Only because I don't have a degree.
Oh, that would make sense.
They
then.
called me and were like, "Yo, come in, brother. We love your vibe." And I came in doing what I do.
Yeah, doing what you do.
How you see me now, kind of. I actually had a full 3-piece hot pink suit on. Like
love.
magenta.
Yeah.
That's hot pink sounded kind of, yeah. But either way, use your imagination. And at the end of the interview, I realized, like, what am I getting interviewed for? If you guys knew from the get, I didn't have the degree to.
Yeah, and you're like, didn't you like?
They were like, well, we
know
just want to
that?
know if you had the fire to maybe pursue it, but we're also going to be continuing our look for somebody. And you guys have, I think, the same cat that's here that got the job. I don't
Okay.
wanna say over me, but got it instead of myself, or I don't even know if I was a candidate, but I just remember coming in and I know the importance of that because it's helped out a lot of migrants. I was also a recruiter, and I went to this migrant school in West Michigan in Lawrence.
Okay.
Shout out the migrant program. It's Project Nomad. in
Shout out
Lawrence.
Nomad again.
Yeah. We already did?
Yeah.
That's another double one. Damn, I'm already getting to Rapido. It's Rapido Pedo. But they helped me learn English. It was a summer program, so we would go, say I was in 4th grade, that same summer I would go straight through summer school. And then in 5th grade, hopefully you would retain and gain the knowledge that you didn't get because of you moving.
Yeah.
So these migrant kids get sometimes swept under the rug. Just in the movement. I moved around a lot, and then we lived in South Texas. Shout out, first of all, South Texas, El Valle, which is the valley. That's all the border towns. There's Laredo. We lived in a town called Donna, Texas. Shout out Donna. Damn, I love Donna. It's such a, and those towns are just hot. Like it's hot. There's obviously now a cartel influence there, and it's a whole hotbed. My sister lived there until like last year or a couple years ago. My sister just moved back up. She was down there for college. And then she stayed a little longer because she was down there for like 10 years. But yeah, I mean, that all influenced me because growing up being bilingual, I was always just trying to fit in, and then becoming things that I wasn't. Like I said, heartbreak led me to the first band, and then that band it ran its course. And we were called Stuck Shut, STUKSHUT. Korn and them were in the
Nice.
K and the yeah. It was in like the 2000s, and that fizzled out and kind of went into this other band called Crooked Tooth. We all had a crooked tooth.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of famously have this crooked tooth. I had it straight, but then I got karate kicked, and my mom was like, "We're not fixing that again." Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
that would do
braces.
it.
Yeah, and I was
Our
like,
mom's a
"Damn,
dental hygienist. We get that.
What? Word, damn, this is so
I don't wear my
serendipitous."
retainer and she yells at me.
Yeah. My sister has
You
3
ladies do
tooth
have
gems.
some nice teeth.
So true.
Yes,
Thank you.
I went through a whole second round of braces because it was like my eye teeth were like 20
Oh.
degrees twisted, and my mom was like, "If I have to look at that for the rest of my life, I'm gonna lose my mind." So then I got full braces for a whole nother year to
Andale,
adjust
andale.
it. But yeah, like
Yay.
my sister's got tooth gems. Like I'm
For the audio listeners,
I did notice it, and then I was like, I don't know how to address it, but
a lot of people
it's
are like, "What's on your teeth? Do you have something in your tooth?" Like,
no.
it's just kinda
I mean, it
awkward,
was like,
but-
dang, I have a crush.
no, I love them.
No, and
They're
there's
dope.
a
They
tooth
look very
gem
beautiful.
place in Kalamazoo. Shout out Alley Cat Studios.
We love Alley Cat Studios.
I won a what was it? Like a giveaway.
Yeah.
And it was a giveaway for tooth gems. And Leah was always talking about how she wanted tooth gems. And I couldn't do it because I can't sleep without my
Are they
retainer.
like semi-permanent? Permanent?
Yeah, they'll just like fall off. Like my
it's
bottom one fell
the
off,
braces,
and I think I ate
glue.
it.
It's like that glue, but with gems.
Yeah.
That
So
was
they'll
my next
just come
question.
off
I was technically
eventually.
going to be like, how's that being done?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I
like
want one too then.
Yeah, you should do it. I don't really know how much they are.
they
'cause I
weren't
got
that
it for-
like they're because I was looking on the website. They're not terribly expensive, and they would take you like
DM me on the Honey Pot Music on Instagram. I haven't done it yet. I said I was going to repeat the Honey Pot Music on Instagram like 1,000 times.
Oh, okay.
So I got to get those in as well.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely
Gotta get
go
followers.
follow them. Let's get their followers up.
So we're at Crooked Tooth. That band too was really quick. It wasn't real quick, and that was like 2000 to 2001 era. And that was a couple cats, high school, college, that we were kind of doing it was my first couple years at KBCC. And then that, because of tragedy, the lead singer's mom passed away. He just could never get it back together. And we kind of just like, that was my first taste in like, maybe music is going to work out for me.
Gotcha. It was like a
my
first failure.
Yeah. And it was a hard one because all the guys were the first kind of brotherhood that the Honey Pot was going to be. And I'm still friends with all those cats in that band. Shout out Gary, Robert, and Ryan Fullman.
We're at like 25 shout outs right
we
now.
are. At this point, it just shout out.
I've been trying to count.
Those were the original bandmates in that band, and and we later on tried to get it back together, and it wasn't the same because I already had the Honey Pot going.
Gotcha. So you were already like, I've moved on.
Yeah. And again, now they're more in the supporting role where they're like, damn, Pedro, we can't believe that you've kept it going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really, really cool to see it become now the support that I need. Because they've seen the transition. They've seen the everybody always in music just sees the end product.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the grinding, I'm getting home at 3 a.m. I have to put away my instruments by myself. And I'm not complaining, but all those little things don't ever get seen.
It's the background.
Yeah.
No one sees that.
And that's part of the whole, I know what I'm getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I'm at. We're at WIDR.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we? Yes. Scratch that, reverse it, times 2, and then times 4.
Okay.
And then back to the original question, which was, I also had a secret agenda that I was going to confuse you ladies.
You're going to confuse us on purpose?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I'm going to do the Willy Wonka thing where I just go off a tangent, and they're like, wait, what? Where'd he go with that? Oh, I'm back.
See, I'm such a like, I love talking to people. That's like my biggest thing I do. So I can follow like the,
You're on it? Good.
like I can so follow that.
And in my head, I'm also trying to like, I got to keep to the adhered little path that we've kind of predetermined, at least, at the very least. Because I'm just now realizing how much steps there are to explaining the Honey Pot.
Yeah, true.
So so the two past bands don't matter because we're at the Honey Pot. We're here supporting the Honey Pot. And those bands fizzled out. And then I was lost for a couple of years by myself in the sense that there are things that you ladies are going to come across in your college years where it takes away from you. It distracts you. You can call them vices. You can call them whatever it is. Whatever it is. And they can be anything. Tangible, not tangible, in your mind. They took me away from what I was in love with, which was always music. And those are the years that I got my ACL ripped and I wasn't doing football anymore. Mm-hmm. And that college dream kind of fell down. I even had a 4-year scholarship period at Western that I let fall through my hands. It was an incentive scholarship for being a migrant. Mm-hmm. I had kind of qualms with it. I didn't want to just get something for being Mexican.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially when I saw some of my brothers that weren't of color go through it too. And what makes me deserve a free college? Now that I'm older, I should have taken it.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
Like when you're going through it, you're like, why did I get it? And
I didn't
why
think I
did my
deserved
friend
it. Why am I
not?
different than the cats that are going to have to pay the 4 years of tuition? Mm-hmm. Mistake again. Learn from Uncle Pedro. I let it fall through my hands, and then there was a period where I became a chef here in Kalamazoo. So I did 10 years as a chef here in these restaurants in Kalamazoo. Some of them don't even exist anymore, but know that I got it pretty good. So, ladies, if you're ever in need of food, I'm your chef. And being multicultural, yo, it's game on. Like, I'm pretty darn good.
Yeah, if you're talking Mexican food,
I do Mexican.
Sign me up.
I've always been a Asian fusion. My mom makes the dulces tamales. I'm the son of a baker, so my mom and dad gave up their job, which is the bakery, and we were the town bakers. It was.
Oh wow.
We were the bakery that provided for the whole town, and my dad gave that all up to be immigrante. Even to know me, you got to know my family. I guess I'm taking another step back. My mom and dad, even before they got here, were illegal immigrants. I came over illegally 2 times over the Rio Grande. Obviously, being born, once my parents got deported, and they got deported young because I grew up in Mexico. That's why I came late into the Spanish game or the English game. I remember crossing the Rio Grande on my uncle's back as we swam and watched the border patrol. And they had it timed out, and there was coyotes, which are coyotes. Dudes that get you over. I mean, and I remember being smuggled in the back of a station wagon and that whole nine. I speak to those kids out there too that have gone through that. I think it's less and less, but we to this day are having border issues and all that. I don't want to get into any of that. Obviously, we're here for the honeypot. Honeypot music on Instagram.
But I think it's important to talk
but
about.
It is. I want to bring all this up because it always gets swept under the rug. And if I have this platform right now to speak, I'm going to speak. And with just and respect, I always say, with respect, you can say anything.
Of course.
And so to get to know that. So my parents were bakers in Mexico. They gave that life up to become over here and give us a chance. I've always asked my dad why he did it and for you to do what you're doing. For me to be right now speaking to you ladies and the honeypot. And that to me, all it means, and it's added up, and it's the foundation onto which I bring the energy I do to the band. And being the son of the baker, my dad in his teen years also was a bull rider. He was. They had like a ring in the town. He rode bulls, and that makes sense because that ties into the first album that we did in Detroit, Way, Guey, and that's the street name for brother, compadre. And Nick and Ty call me Way all the time. Yo, Way, come over here, Way. Hey, Way, come over here. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
It's the Mexican version of dude. And a Way is also an unused or a lanyard bull. And then the image on the first album is that bull.
Yeah.
And that's like, was a shot, kind of a throwback to my dad. And
that's
it makes
cool.
sense why we came out with the horns. And when that first album that we did in Detroit, because we do got premium albums, and we'll get into albums here in Kalamazoo. Once we realized what was going on in Detroit, we were like, "Yo, it's a reset moment. Let's come at them with 4 bangers of albums. We'll have almost like a conception, an idea for all of them." Me being the artist, I was like, "Let me get on the art and then get ahead of it." I'm also a big. The culture is a big. I'm not afraid of death. Death is gonna come. It's this relationship we have with it. No matter what we do, it'll be knocking.
Come.
It'll be knocking on our door.
Yeah, happens to everybody.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll have some like cool teeth.
Some cool tooth gems
Yeah,
Before you die, you got
You
it.
took me off kilter with it. Dang, cool.
So then since we don't have a whole lot of time left, and I really, really want to get into your albums.
My bad. Yeah. So we're the honeypot. So the first couple ones that we did in Kalamazoo were full blown, and then the honeypot, like I said, was always me, Nick, and Ty. Kevin moved to Cali, and then he's always been welcome in. We always, any member of the Kalamazoo of the honeypot, you got to come back policy.
Yeah.
There's never, we moved on, and we've had quite a few people come and go. Shout out everybody who's been a past member of the honeypot, and there's quite a few out there. And Kevin tried coming back a couple years ago, and it was kind of hard for him because he saw the growth. And in the sense he didn't want to step on our toes anymore. But we always look for him. We send him, all our music always goes to Cali first.
Nice.
And we get his approval. We get his like stamp of like uniqueness, and then we keep it moving. And that's all we need from Kevin. But Kevin's always welcome back. But anyway, the first couple of albums that we got, the first one we did here in Kalamazoo was live at the 666 building, which had this cool, gnarly, trippy cover that was like, what do you call it?
like an optical illusion.
Yeah, it used to hurt my eyes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, one of the ones that like you stare at long enough and it looks like it's moving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that one had tracks like Coca-Cola, Foot Trip. Kevin wrote Foot Trip, Small Town Blues, Marshmallow, Ocean, I-94, AC/DC, and the famous instrumental G12, which we, for the longest, used to do it for our warm up.
Oh, nice.
When we're doing like
sound check stuff.
checking. Yeah. G12 used to be our sound check for the longest, and that was kind of the Kevin era, because Kevin was still here in the band, so we were a 4-piece here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 666 building here in Kalamazoo is on the same road that you ladies are going tonight.
On Bells.
Bells. What is Pratchett? Whatever road that's on. It's a cobblestone one.
Do you know what's there? Is it like a high rise?
No, it's still the 66 building is there, but it's all quarantined off because they're supposed to be knocking it down. Because that's where the Uber. I hate to bring.
The Uber shooting
guy got caught right in front of our. We have a video that we shot there. So if you do really deep dives, you'll find us on YouTube as the Honeypot Music on Instagram, or the Honeypot Music, and also our original handle was the Honeypot Kazoo, and that has our old videos. We have one called Child's Play that our old friend, and that's one of the only ones that we've done because we'll get into it real quick. Mm-hmm. Most of our videos are abstract and arty.
Yes,
our original ones weren't. It was us gentlemen
y'all
in
playing.
Yeah, and. As we got to the point where we're like, the music is the number one thing here, less of us, more of the music. So in a sense,
cool.
I'm glad that you noticed that because, and that's all Nick. Nick is the humble guy that's always keeping us humble and keeping us, like right now he probably would be like, Pedro, you went way off tangent. My bad, Nick. Shout out Nick again. But anyway, he's always keeping us humble and keeping us like grounded. I've always been the guy to almost want to lift us up and be gone and already be in the future when we're still in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's a good give and go. But where was I at?
You were talking about the 666 building, which I've looked up, and it's the building that has like the Kalamazoo building paint on it.
Yeah.
It's that building for all of our
white.
listeners.
They spray painted it white?
Yeah, it's white, black, and gold, but like the side of the building is white.
Yeah,
it's like they built a thing like right next to it.
It used to be some sort of old Gibson. It's related to the Gibson building.
Yeah,
the Gibson guitars. It's Kalamazoo. Shout out Kalamazoo and Gibson. Their hometown makers.
Yeah,
brands. I guess.
Yeah, I would say like maker. That's probably how. I would describe it.
So we used to practice there, and that place was famously in those years it's like 2011 to 2014. Had tons of bands that were relevant then. And all its kind of genres. There was hardcore bands in there. There was like a band that was kind of like the Stones were in there. Nice. Black Jack Mulligan, I think their name was. There was another hardcore band called Reinventing Yesterday, and then it was a Honeypot. And
cool.
We also became friends with this cat named Tyler Dancer, who is a techno like aficionado. Shout out Tyler Dancer. He's in Detroit, and we met Ty here in Kalamazoo. And then Detroit also has that techno backbeat to it, amongst all the other genres that it's linked to, and that was really cool. That's where we recorded this live in that studio, which was a room that was like this. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it was dirty. It was like
I feel like
a bunch of boys that don't clean, and then you're in college mode. We had one closet in there that was filled with cans.
Nice.
Like once in a while.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Giving a frat house.
Yeah.
Very.
Or if you guys have ever been down at the house shows in the Vine.
Yeah.
Or even Ann Arbor has those same kind of house setups.
Where it's like the basement and it's kind of dusty and like everyone's in their outdoor shoes and
it's
throwing
that time in your
cans
life
everywhere
where
and a
you're
spilled
like,
beer and
I remember seeing cats playing beer pong and the ball hitting the floor and then they like blowing it off and then getting right back in and they drink the cup. I'm like, yo, what?
You're like, yo.
You just don't think about it.
Yeah, you're in college mode, I guess. But anyway, that's the first one, Live at the 666. Shortly after that, we did another one called Don't Look Back. That one was recorded by our friend who passed last year, Jared Newth. He was also on a couple other projects here in Kalamazoo. He worked at Heritage Guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he passed last year, but he is on all these yellow stickers that I'll show you here shortly. He's on all those yellow stickers because it was going to be the album cover or the CD cover.
Yeah.
So it said produced and engineered by Jared. And then he used to get a bunch of emails and calls from the police station here in Kalamazoo because we were giving them out to fans and encouraging them to.
And they would like put them on the like.
We got
just
called
stuff.
once because the police car got a couple on there.
Nice.
And they called us and, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're just giving them away. We don't.
Gotcha.
It was the same roll that from the story earlier where Ty brought this big roll.
Yeah.
Stickers
Okay,
home.
those stickers.
So we cut them up and we would just give them out at shows. Like
You're like, stick 'em everywhere.
We would just rain stickers,
Nice.
and that was used to kind of be our almost like our original brand was. Oh, they're the band with the stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we would leave like a trail of stickers.
Yeah, and of course the police are like, there's a name on it.
They were
Let's
on-
contact the person.
Also, our old MySpace. Shout out MySpace.
Shout out MySpace. Now
We
you're
got a little
aging
too-
yourself here. Neither
Yeah,
of us
I'm a
have had
little too young.
MySpace.
Wait, did we have? No, it was Facebook.
Oh,
yeah,
we've
we
got
got- yeah.
Facebooks.
Wait, okay, it's Facebook. Yeah, I was like, wait, MySpace? How do you not know? That can't be right. Wait, is there still MySpace?
No.
I don't
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think MySpace exists as
Okay.
a platform
It
anymore.
was for sure Facebook.
Okay, we got Facebook. You're not
'Cause
aging
Facebook
yourself anymore.
is where our original kind of like, oh, we need a platform to kind of
Yeah.
show off our thing.
Definitely like the early Facebook was the place to be.
And it was like a way to like get the so then in those days it was like Louis, Rupert's, the Old Dog. There's
Yeah.
a 311 Club, obviously Bells, which you ladies are going to tonight. I'll get into that how we tie into the band that you're actually playing to
Nice.
tonight. So you guys can shout that out. And there was I'm trying to think of Up and Under. I think
Yeah,
they're
Up and Under's still there.
They're getting live bands again. We went to Old Dog the other day. It was kind of low numbers, but
Yeah, Old Dog
quiet.
they've also like they were closed for a few months too,
Yeah.
and like I think they're struggling a bit, but
Yeah, I'm always concerned with the venues here in KZoo, and things have come and gone. There used to be a place called the Rocket Star Cafe. There was Club Soda.
Club Soda's still a thing.
Because I when I was really young and in middle school, I tried coming up here to catch Green Day.
Wow.
And I also tried to catch, I didn't even know what it was, but Nirvana. When Nirvana came like in 94.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And then I work with, and I'll tell you guys my day job a little bit after we finish this. One of the coworkers told me that here at Western, you guys had in the old, by the faucet building, in the cove that you guys had,
Yeah.
isn't there an outdoor kind of like area?
Yeah, there's like a little bit of like kind of like a corner where some things would be kind
Black
of
Flag
set up.
played there, and Minor Threat played at K College back in the day.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I was like, well,
Taylor
they got-
Swift was also here in like 2007 or something.
yeah.
Like
So-
crazy people have kind of come out of Kalamazoo.
That to me that's why I was like, you never know, this could be a hidden gem. And yeah,
I really think
I
it
believe in us
is.
the most, and I'm always like, we're on this upward trajectory. That's the only way to be in life. If I'm not my biggest fan in our work, then who is?
Yeah, true. How can you
never
expect
ask
anyone to
ladies
like
be,
like me more than me?
Yeah, a part of even in my art and what we do and everything that the Honey Pot is. Why would I ever ask you guys to be in, or even give us a glimpse or a chance if I'm not my biggest fan in my work? But with that said, those years we also recorded, and I think we did that. Jared came with his cool equipment to that studio, to the 6-6, and that one, since it was like he brought his equipment. We did only a 3-song EP with him, and that was Roller Coaster, Western Skies, and Caffeine and Nicotine. Roller Coaster is a really cool early jam. That one's almost like jam bandy, but not quite, because again, the Honey Pot's never had quite a title. But we were definitely kind of moving and grooving those years. Nick, I don't know if he's gonna kill me for this or love me, but his voice has always gotten, hey, you sound like Jack Black or Jack White. I always say Black first.
Let's go, Jack Black. Shout out Jack Black.
Shout out Jack Black. Tenacious D.
But yeah, but like Jack White.
Yeah, and the Detroit thing.
Yeah.
Like Garage Rock, Detroit. It makes sense. And then in thinking just of myself right now and how I met the Honey Pot from like this side, they were coming from Detroit to come to school here at Western. So they've always brought that Detroit here to Western.
Yeah.
And Nick, from the get-go, I grew up kind of listening to music as it became popular or as I discovered punk. I was into early punk and especially East Coast punk. Shout out East Coast Punk, Lookout Records. That was like early Green Day, Rancid, Op Ivy. I can go on. MXPX was a real big band to me. If you guys don't know what MXPX is, check them out. this is about the honeypot though, so the honeypot music on Instagram.
There we go.
Yeah, I almost went off tangent right there. But I also had, and the reason I say MXPX only real quick is because they had their lead singer was a bassist, and his name is Mike Herrera. I always gravitated to seeing people of my last name or Latin names, and especially doing genres where they didn't. It was rare to see a Mexican person doing punk.
Yeah, 100%.
And I've always tried to like, oh, they're doing
So
that.
you're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
You caught my attention.
Yeah, and just his last name. He speaks no Spanish, which is no disrespect.
Yeah.
And I think his Spanish may be somewhat decent now. But he now knows that the importance of him being Latino is a thing for Latinos. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to shout out MXPX because they to me, that and for sure Richie Valens, which if you guys don't know, he's he died at 17 in the plane crash early in February.
Okay.
Back in the day where the music died with the Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper
yes.
and Richie Valens. He did La Bamba.
Gotcha.
And the way that ties in for me is I learned English through movies. So my first American drive-in theater experience was it was a 2-for-1. It was La Bamba and Masters of the Universe, which was like a He-Man,
Nice.
like sci-fi weird 80s thing. My dad thought that we weren't paying for the second movie, so he was like, we got to go. We only paid for La Bamba. So we were like, we got to
Funny.
Yeah. But anyway, shout out Richie Valenzuela because that Richie set the tone for me to be Latino and being in rock. He died at 17. 17 has always played a number in my life. It keeps recurring. It keeps coming back up. I just kind of keep going with it at this point and just be blessed that things happen in that tangent. But shortly after Don't Look Back, we had the Honeypot 2?
I would say
one.
I got Honeypot 1 2014, Honeypot 2 2015.
Yes, you're right. And the Honeypot 1 was it has like a circle cover of my parents' backyard. And that's in Bangor. And from far away, it looks like the moon. So, and that one has Change Your Minds, Pushing Along, Poster Beds, Growing Horns, Music Ain't Music, Bones and Muscles, Time Your Hands, Long Walks, and rounding it out with Pleasure and Pain. And that one was a 9-song, that was our first
a hefty one.
Kalamazoo first album. That was our full length here in Kalamazoo. Mm-hmm. We did that one at a place that doesn't exist anymore. It was called the Phoenix Studios. It's downtown. It's now called Rooted.
I've heard of that. Yes.
Double Phoenix Studios. It's now the Rooted building. They do yoga and stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's a Chuckers or some burger spot right next to it.
Probably like a Checkers.
And of course, like everything else, there's a weed shop.
Yeah, of
also right next to it.
Yeah,
Typical
classic.
Kalamazoo.
Shout out weed shops, I guess.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, shout out weed shops, I guess. I don't know what you guys are doing.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Jeez. Anyway, so that one was the Honeypot 1, and then 2 was we did a short one. We tried a different studio. We went with some cat named I think Angelo. Angelo also worked at the Guitar Center here in Kalamazoo, which ties into Tyler at one point, the drummer in our band, working at Guitar Center, as many band people here do. The band that you're seeing tonight.
Yeah, Saturdays at your place. I think 2 of them.
2 of the cats there.
They used to work at Guitar Center.
I don't know. I think they finally gave it up, or
I don't. I think they're
they're full tour.
They're full band
and
now.
Yeah, they're pretty big now.
Yeah. I shouted them out, and they hit me up, and they were like, "Yo, keep doing your thing." And I know what it is, and that's getting back to that. Like, I was like, "Dang, I hope they kind of like, hey, we should put a show on together." Do something. And I know the genre is very different. They're doing emo, and
that's so okay though. I love
that's what I was
multiple genre show.
Maybe you ladies can facilitate that and make that happen.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan. Their music is always on WIDR, and sometimes it follows ours or theirs, and strength in numbers. We're from the same town.
Yeah,
that's
shout out Saturdays at your place.
Yeah.
What else is tonight? There's Headband Henny.
Henny.
We've also Headband.
I haven't seen them, but I know you like.
He used to be the guitarist, or he still plays with Southern Comfort.
I'm not exactly sure actually if he still plays.
He had a connection with them because we were supposed to have a house show with them, and the cops showed up when we were still here.
Typical.
And the classic, you play one note, we're taking you to jail.
Yeah.
And Nick looked at me and was like, dude, we can't do jail.
We can't do that.
And we had to unplug, so we never got to play a show with them. The whole setup, we had lights, the whole thing. People were there.
Goodness gracious.
And it was down in the Vine.
Down in the Vine, yeah.
Down in the Vine. Shout out Down in the Vine. But yeah, so we have ties kind of maybe to two of the bands you guys are
definitely
watching. Weirdly enough, back to the Honeypot 2, that one had All Right, Apple Tree, and Bosque. Bosque is the Spanish word for forest.
Okay.
And that one hits home. And all these are gems. It's hard for me to tell you to listen to one or the other. We've always been the kind of band, and I think all bands say this now that I'm thinking about it. It's the whole entity. Listen, and I know
you have to
I know
listen
the
to it
younger
like
people
the
are like,
album
oh, I just need the one.
experience.
I guess it feels safe. Go with the middle one.
Yeah, but it's like the whole thing of like when like people would buy records. The whole
I'm still
art
from that generation.
was the record and not like the single off of it.
Same.
Or like that isn't really a thing anymore.
Even my punk, like ethos when I was younger, I loved going and trying to figure out what Billy Joel from Green Day was doing on the cover, on the art. He wrote really scratchy, like his lyrics. I read the lyrics. It was like, and that's the way I was learning how to write music.
Yeah.
Was through somebody else that now that I'm older, I'm realizing like, damn, we weren't even that far apart age-wise. I thought he was hella.
He was like
way up
super
there. Yeah.
super
And he's
ancient.
already, they were doing basket case and just killing it and murdering it. And but we all get our likes and our wants from different things.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be in different also genres before I met the Honey Pot. So I was in the hardcore scene. I was in the grindcore, Ypsilanti. I used to play with a band called From Flesh and Blood Robot, who was getting back together this year with the original members.
Nice.
I was just a fill-in drummer at the time.
Gotcha.
But they were like blast beats,
Wow.
grindcore, like
Cool.
yeah, very far from what we're doing now. With the Honey Pot.
But it's so worth like going outside of your usual genre to see how they do it. And
It was, and I also wanted to always bring forth this. I'm not that kind of musician where it's come easy to me, or I'm virtuosely doing scales.
Yeah.
I've had to finagle and I learned guitar through tablature, which is like a no-no. Well, you ladies would know, right? Because
I don't know much about guitar. but-
yeah, so it's like tabs. So it's just
You
like
write numbers. Yeah,
yeah. Do like
Real
put your thing
musicians
in
will
like
be like,
1,
"That's
4, 3,
cheating."
2.
But if you can't read music, like you can still play.
I've always had the
like-
attitude also like if I can produce live to you a seamless show without you realizing that I have notes or whatever it is that I have to do on my end
Yeah.
to get the show done, then to each his own. Like
Yeah.
Nick makes fun of me to this day. I have my quarterback little sleeve thing that quarterbacks wear. It's like my cheat sheet, and
Yeah.
I have all my songs on there with all the tablature in case I ever have a brain fart or anything.
Yeah, you're like,
on
oh my
stage.
God, I don't remember what I'm playing.
It's always with me. It's like my teddy bear.
Smart.
Shout out my little quarterback.
Nice.
And if you guys come to a live show, and I hope you guys do entertain the thought or the idea of coming to a Honey Pot show, we don't do it like anybody else. And I say that with the most sincere heart. I love that you guys are going to go and explore your guys' knowledge of music tonight, but I know that, man, like the Honey Pot would come even forth 10 times. But yo, that's what makes everybody different too. It's the experience of seeing others do the same thing you're doing, and they're at the level where they're at because of the hard work they've put in. So I can't hate on that. The inner me wants to sometimes. Like,
No, that's understandable. You're
Even
like,
the
oh
youth,
man, I wish.
Seeing now younger bands already with more likes and more followers, and sometimes being like, wait, what? Like,
It's
how?
all that marketing.
That's what I'm
True.
saying.
That really is
The
all
Honey Pot
it
has
is.
the sauce. We have the whatever it is that you need to go through the next but we just need help in that department. Because
And that's why I invited you on the show today.
thank you, and I do appreciate you to the bottom of my heart. I sometimes have a hard time thinking that I'm even here, or am I the right piece to be vocalizing and representing the band that I love and would die for? Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Nick last night almost hit. I didn't even know how to bring this up to you. He almost hit me with an uppercut and was like, "Hey, I might show up out of nowhere."
Oh.
Nick, the lead singer,
yeah.
and I was like, "Well, for sure, it's your band."
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can.
And like, she's
Here's
like, I
where
don't
it
have any
is.
problems with it. I keep wanting to see him come through that door, but
That's really funny.
I also know the importance of like, he is our leader. Shout out Nick again, but he puts it on me, and yo, that to me is like, damn, he's putting me on blast. He's putting me on.
Yeah.
So I got to come with it too. And I told him I was going to say 1,000 times the Honey Pot Music on Instagram, but here's 1,001 for you, Nick. I want to, yeah. And I appreciate him appreciating me being able to appreciate you.
Good. Good.
And
good,
your
good.
listeners and everybody in the community. The Honey Pot will always be family. I started off with this as family. It will end with family. It's going to keep morphing as we go. As you ladies will see here in the next couple of years in your lives, the jobs, the families, that all starting to be reality, and it's all in how you navigate it. If it's something that you're passionate for, you're gonna go to the ends of the earth and beyond. I've told the boys in the band, I love you guys beyond death.
Mm-hmm.
Death will not end the honeypot. I've told you that. Death is only the beginning. The beginning is the end. Scratch it and reverse it. Turn it into 2. Got it?
There you go.
Got it.
Dang, girl.
There you go.
I know you're sick, but it's okay.
So then let's transition. Is it way?
Yeah. So that's we're up to at least the last 4. Yes. Right before we get to the last 4, we had the pleasure last year of doing Rambling Rose and Kick Out the Jams, which, if you know, just recently the MC5 guitar lead, Brother Wayne, as Nick likes to say, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And we were picked to cover the MC5 last year for this. So we did the live Rambling Rose into Kick Out the Jams as the MC5.
Wow.
So the honeypot was the MC5.
Cool.
And we have the live take of it. They recorded it there on spot. It was at the Loving Touch in
Love
Detroit.
the Loving Touch.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, people that night were like, you guys are way underrated. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was the first time where we even were like, yo, son.
People really like us.
Yeah. And it was like, and to be honored to be given that task to hold that band's light up, like, we had to come hard. We had to come still unique.
Mm-hmm.
We still turned it into the honeypot, but man, we were right there with Brother Wayne. So shout out Brother Wayne, up and down or wherever you may be, sir. That's our first post-death shout out.
Shout out Death?
Death? Shout out Death too? Shout out you Death.
Why not?
I know you're coming. But anyway. But yeah, the first one in Detroit, we did at the Rust Belt Studios. That's in Ferndale, Michigan. Shout out Studio Steve. He's always been our go-to producer. He's in a bunch of dope Detroit bands. Detroit has and will always have a plethora of bands. I can sit here now for another hour and give you guys a lowdown of just Detroit bands that we have to kind of go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If we thought Kalamazoo had so much history, Detroit is 25 times that.
So Way is the album cover that has and I'm really quickly, as we speak, Way is the bull. And then I hand did these. I'm showing right now for the lookers. These are hand done.
These are gorgeous.
Here, pass that one on to your sis as you go. And
Slay.
even the lettering and the fonts, those are I hand cut those. I do a bunch of layers of just clear acrylic.
I like this one a lot.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I knew. Oh, girl. Dang. All right.
Yeah, so all of these album covers that you guys see are hand done. I'm holding like a canvas.
It's a 12 by 12 canvas.
A 12 by 12 canvas.
So the other thing I haven't said, or I've already alluded to it, I'm the artist that does our art. I'm the in-house
These are
artist.
really cool.
The blessing of just having 2 talents growing up, my mom has always told me, damn, Junior, you double fold. Double down. And I was like, yeah, Ma. And she still always is making money. I'm like, Ma, it's the art. So the bull was a shout out to, and that's Way, Guey, Way. The bull, shout out to my dad. It's also kind of like in the stars, in the sky. What's that called? Constellation?
Yeah, like a constellation.
Yeah. I do these trippy backgrounds. Google it. The quickest way to get all our music is on Bandcamp. I realized that has all of it, almost in chronological order as well.
Yeah, I think so.
We're on everything else, YouTube and damn, I almost burped or something. YouTube and Instagram, the Honeypot Music on Instagram. But the next one in the succession is Chido, Chido. Chido means dope. It's the Spanish slang for dope. Oh, dope, Chido. That looks Chido.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your hat's Chido. Oh, she gave a good speech. It was real Chido. All right. And that was our in the lineup. What year was that one? Oh, so this is COVID.
Yeah, Cheeto 2023 is when it was. Says
so
released.
we started this in 17. COVID hits, and then the whole world is on pause.
Of course.
A lot of people ask me why the underwater scene. COVID is this big entity here, this big sea monster that you see. The honeypot. Shout out to the Beatles. We're in the pink submarine, and it's in the shape of a scorpion. I've been deadly afraid of scorpions since I was a kid. Since it's what took my grandfather's life. My dad's dad, Francisco Jr., died when my dad was 17. The number 17.
Mm-hmm.
They went up to the woods camping, and my dad was about to get stung by a scorpion. And then where we're from in Mexico, scorpions are deadly. my grandpa grabbed it and it bit him instead, and my grandpa died that day.
Wow.
In honor of my dad. I almost called him my son. Dad, are you my son or son of my dad? Whoa, bro. Anyway, confusion. But anyway, so I've always had this inherent here of scorpions, and I was like, how slick could it be to do instead of a yellow submarine, like a pink scorpion submarine that has compartments, because the band, like earlier, has always been compartmentalized. But I in a lot of my paintings, I never show people. It's always the things that people possess or control, buildings, cars, be it what it is.
Yeah.
Animals are a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of animals in here because Detroit is that. All these animals and schools of fish. You see a little turtle. There's a yellow octopus way in the background that may or may not be a little reference to Jack White.
Cool.
He's got the white and yeah. So Mr. White, Mr. Blanco, as I like to call him. Shout out your boys at the Honey Pot Music. If you're looking for an opener, we humbly accept. On behalf of WIDR and everybody here. On behalf
of WIDR and Live Loud and Local.
Mr. Blanco, and he supposedly has a house here in Kalamazoo.
I have heard about that.
Ladies? Yes.
Well,
I live in, I don't want to give too much, I want to stay mysterious for your listeners, but I live here in Kalamazoo. I have my anchor here. I guess I can say it. I live in I was about to say the Winchell neighborhood, but it's not. The D&W.
Oh, okay.
That neighborhood over
Gotcha.
there. Yeah. And that's maybe near where he supposedly has a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll keep it kind of secretive.
Somebody needs to go on a deep dive and figure out where Mr. Blanco?
Mr. Blanco.
Where Mr. Blanco
lives.
Yeah.
Another kind of story to him. He loves to go and frequent this place we play in Detroit, New Dodge Lounge. And someone spray painted, "This is the house of Mr. White."
Nice.
Like a cool graffiti thing. Mm-hmm. Somebody, after one of our shows, put a Honey Pot logo right on it or near it. And I don't think he liked that because that was the only time we've like, yo, bro, you guys shouldn't be doing all that. Again, that was the fans. Mm-hmm. So I have always kind of been like, yo, hopefully one of these days our paths do cross. And like I've been telling you, we're ready to go. The opportunity is at the door.
Yeah,
let's
say
get
when.
him knocking. Like if he right now were to come in, hey Pedro, get the boys together. The boys would have no remorse or inkling or hesitation to drop what they're doing right now and come with it. I knew at the very end, if I was like, you guys all need to be here today, they would have. Mm-hmm. But I was like, well, let me do this on my own. Let me really put myself out there because I sometimes don't. I'm a recluse.
Gotcha.
I'm agoraphobic, as they say. Oh. So I like to stay indoors a lot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I need to get myself out there more. And this is helping.
Good.
Appreciate you. So we're at Cheeto. Cheeto has a water scene and pass that on your sister. Mm-hmm. The next one that we're working on currently is Neta. Neta.
Because I did see that you had
a little teaser.
Yeah, Neta Summer 2024.
Yeah, and I think I was trying to send you we have a new single that we're right now demoing, Dollar Tree. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dollar Tree is Narny Narn.
Yes, because all of your music is going to be in WIDR rotation now. Yeah, I've sent it all that way, and so that's... Keep listening. You'll be hearing it
girl,
soon.
Can we? Please, yeah, girl, that's a big thing for us. What?
Yes.
Dang.
And if I
brought you something then. Well, I brought you something regardless.
Oh, wonderful.
But now
it's
really,
especially.
Woo!
Yeah, it will be in rotation. So listeners, you will be hearing kind of Honey Pot in rotation, and
that's big
Pedro,
for us.
you're gonna be hearing it too. So keep it on 89.1 WIDR FM.
And you know what your sister's new mission is? We need a U of M too.
Yeah, come to the Blind Pig.
Please, any little leads you got, we'll work hard for it. We're not one to take anything for free.
Metal frat.
True.
It doesn't matter. You could tell me a bar mitzvah, a backdoor quinceañera,
anything.
A true musician doesn't, and that's why even in our later years, we started getting hit up about house shows. Mm-hmm. That's an honor to me. I know what it is to grind it out there and to still be accepted there in our age right now and to still fit in per se.
Yeah, because it definitely is a younger crowd, but once in a while you see like an older band and they're killing it just as they are.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. Where I'm like, hey,
shout out Mighty Big Rig is the one that comes to mind.
Mighty Big,
nice.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Mighty Big. Even like our boy Jake Sims, he's been around since our inception too, and we've crossed paths.
Yeah, Jake Simmons, he's really, really good friends with my boyfriend, actually. Like, they're in college together. I've been to like 4 or 5 of his shows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't
Cool guy.
See, look, yeah.
Tiny world.
And
Cool
then
guy.
he introduced me to Katie Needs a Life and the Dormouse whole crowd, and they loved us, and everything's just been a step in the next evolution of what we are. We know that
Our mother's
mom's calling
calling.
Mom is on.
Shout
the phone.
out.
Can we take it?
Shout out.
No,
Shout,
it's we
dang,
can't get that
dang.
distracted.
shout out Joanne.
So shout out
shout out
Joanne.
Joanne.
We love her.
Dang, shout out Wait, and your father?
Mark.
Shout out Joanne and Mark.
Yeah.
There we go.
You guys have two dope ladies.
Let's go.
Let's
Wait,
go.
are there more?
Yeah,
We have a little brother,
What's the bro's name?
Andrew.
Drew, baby boy. Oh my lord!
He hates being called Drew. Though,
Before we
so-
even take another step, we have right now a fourth member. Shout out Andrew, our new guitar player. We affectionately right now call him Dextrose because he's sweet.
Nice.
He's a sweet, sweet man. We just added Andrew, and Andrew is the newest right now member of the Honey Pot. Again, with the revolving door, we're always looking and praying. So if you guys are listening, a multi-instrumental person's out there and thinking, I want to be in a kind of a cool band.
My mom's now calling me.
Mom is dead. Something's
Well,
up.
I was calling her earlier.
I called her
'cause, like,
earlier too.
Yeah.
I was talking about this like one orange juice that I really like, and like I was trying to figure out what it was.
I
What
told
is
my
the
mom
juice?
about work.
I still don't know. It's just
Like,
some
orange?
brand of orange juice that I had when I was like 10. That's so random.
Yeah.
was it
OJ
was it
too.
the orange
Yeah.
juice that we had
Tropicana's
at Grandma
sick.
Artis's house?
No, it was like the canned one. Do you remember the
Yeah,
huge
I don't know the canned one, but
We had, like,
the one we used to have at our grandma's house was like came in like a glass jar. And she would
Rice
get it like
juice.
refilled. Yeah, rice juice.
What? I was gonna say, whenever
really
you guys
good.
do figure it out, DM me. This I just
Real.
want
I know. I want to know what canned
Post it
orange
on
juice.
our
you're
Honey
Yeah,
talking
Pot.
about.
I don't know if I'll ever figure it out. I've been trying for like 5 years now.
Julia, the Honey Pot Music on Instagram. Just boom. It was this.
This was the
Yeah.
orange juice we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you holding in your hand now?
We are currently working on Neta. Neta's the next one that probably is going to come out in summer of this year. Neta is Neta, and Neta is the Spanish slang for real. Use it like, oh, Neta, for real? You're going down to see this or that? Or, and each one has always worked in this fashion where like the honey pot, Neta, like the honey pot for real. It had to also work in English to me in my mind. And that one has a UFO type of little, and this one's real textured. If you touch it, you can really feel
Yeah.
the texturing. I do a lot of texturing and layering in my art. It's like a trippy futuristic seascape with a kind of a UFO thing landing and two I like to call them wanderers because we have a song called Wanderer that are just traversing the landscape, and then way off in the distance in some big old lettering you see the word Neta. And again, this one actually started off really cool. It had a big bubble that I started off that was like a golden bubble, and underneath it was like a yolk. So when I pierced the bubble, all the red came
Cool.
out. And that's just the natural smearing of the color and how it laid. And then I start to see this world within the world, and I see then layering and going back. And that to me is a blessing to have that kind of the talent. And art is the only thing I can say in my life that is truly just a gift. I have no schooling in it. I haven't taken any art classes. Earlier when you ladies were talking about knowledge, I learned anything in art wise or anything music. I was always at my public library. So shout out public libraries.
Shout out public
Public
libraries.
libraries.
Oh, I love
If
the
you want to
library.
support
Yes,
your local
please.
public library,
Shout
get a
out public
library
libraries.
card.
I was in there
True.
every day. Shout out Ms.
So us in the summers,
I was there
every day.
Yeah, that's where I learned about Basquiat, Warhol, Frida, anything I had any questions about. I love comic strips because when my English was limited, comic strips, Garfield, Peanuts, all those little things started. I'm a doodler, so not only am I painting, my first game is doodle. And then I started to get into audio and video. I do also in tangent with Tyler in the band, we do our videos. And we're always getting obsolete, obscure, older footage that's open and just out there for the world to take and do with what you will with it. That's the piece that we do, and Tyler and I are now doing a lot of that. The Honey Pot has always been like a triangle. The Honey Pot is always going to be our main, but really close, right off on the wings, is another project that we have called TPK, Tiny Pocket Knives. There is the Tiny Pocket Knives couple platforms out there if you do a deep dive, and that's just me and Tyler because as the band went, there was a couple of shows where Nick couldn't show up,
Yeah.
and it was just Tyler, Kevin, and Pete at the time, myself, Pedro. So TPK, that was our initials,
Oh,
Yeah,
I like
Tyler,
that.
Pedro, Kevin. And I was like, well, we need a name. And then in my pocket, I had a tiny pocket knife. And I immediately was like, oh, that's the same letters that our names are.
Yeah.
And we became Tiny Pocket Knife for that show down on, I think it was on Wallwood, somewhere
Nice.
over there in the Vine.
For one
For one
night
show.
only.
So we didn't have Nick, so we became Tiny Pocket Knives. None of us can really truly sing like Nick does. So we always take audio from things and lace it.
Gotcha.
And that's what TPK is. If you come to our live shows, you get 40 minutes, because typically our show is 40 to 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, now you know. That was brought to you by come to a show and enjoy shows.
yeah.
Live music.
Live music.
That one, what was I saying? Live music.
You're talking about TPK.
TPK, yes, TPK. So we do our own loops for the live show. And then what are loops? What are loops, bro? Loops are the little like jingles you may hear in between songs live. So you don't hear the awkward tuning. Really, really legit, and like bands that are polished start to interlude always sounds and things to keep the audience entertained the full 40 minutes. And that's always been, that's my new now angle with the band. I'm like, yo, Nick, instead of hearing us tune and cough and, hey, bro, you were a little fast on that one, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have this now other entertaining thing going on. You could just pick a sample from something, but why not make it, if you have the technology?
Yeah, why not do it yourself?
So
and
me,
then
Tyler from scratch, will start from scratch.
cool.
We started off, our first series was just a bunch of movie lines that I loved and grew up learning English with. So La Bamba's in there, Back to the Future, Hook. I love Hook, Peter Pan, stuff like that. And then and even other things. There's I think a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line
Nice.
that's in there. And now the audience is starting to even remember some of these ones that we play
Oh yeah,
back.
definitely a
Well,
nostalgia
they'll be like, oh, I
factor
can't wait till they do
helping.
the turtle one, because that one's got a cool line.
Yeah.
It's got a one zinger. And we also we love music. We love the art of music and whatnot, but we're also humble dudes that love being funny and goofy.
Yeah,
and,
why not?
And we kind of
Integrate that, you know?
We're serious about the craft, but we take it not serious as far as we're always goofing around.
Yeah,
Like,
let's have a little giggle.
punch. I get
Punching
why
each
you.
other.
Yeah, I get why you and your sister. Me and my brother and the brothers in the band are, like I was saying in the early years, we got physical sometimes because it was that brotherhood of like, no, you're in the wrong, and they got physical, and then it was like, man, I love you, and there was a lot of moments where it was like, and that's what. Like when you lift weights, you tear those muscles, and those muscles build back stronger and stronger, and that's what that bond is. And I think this is the third time I'm mentioning this. The Honey Pot will always and continue to always be about familia, and that's always going to be family. And it shows in our music because the brotherhood is tight, and the without those boys and those gentlemen in my life right now, and they're starting to have families, and to not get too personal, those people now depend on us as well, and see us in a different light. And even the new added entities that are coming into our lives are like, whoa, this is what they do, and this is what my dad does. Like, whoa, awesome. And we're always looking to the future. The last thing that I'm holding is the last album in the series, and that's the Honey Pot Duro. D-U-R-O. Duro is the Spanish slang for hard. So we used to say hard a lot in our early days.
Gotcha.
Man, it's hard. Oh, that hard. Duro. And in Spanish, it's kind of like when you're like almost like re-umping something or giving something a double stamp of approval. Oh, the Honey Pot, hard. And this one is a shout out because a full circle comes. This is our original sticker from when we got here.
Nice.
And so this is the pop art influence in me. So I did our original sticker as the background, and then did a lot of, and there's also, this is the famous Michelangelo.
Yeah, like the finger point or handhold or whatever.
Yeah, I study art and yo. And there's even an image inside the hands that's like of a sun setting.
Oh yeah, now that you say
and
that.
there's even like a pop art element here, which I do a lot of like, this is, I forget what, Houndstooth. It's a print. I love prints. In another life, I had to have been some sort of tailor. Shout out tailors in other lives.
Shout out tailors in other lives.
Because I love what you ladies are wearing. I love art, or I love just the
like
fashion.
the texture and the
specifically
all
women's fabrics and women's. In some other life, I had to have been some sort of tailor for women. Because anytime my mom would wear an exquisite dress, it was like the pattern, and that influenced me in my art. I do a lot of floral patterns in all the art I do.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end as far as the series of albums that we plan to release here. Or I guess the only thing I didn't mention was so this is Rust Belt Studio. First two are Rust Belt Studios, and these last two are going to be us. So we
y'all are doing it?
Yeah, we are gotten to the point where we can now, and we know our sound better than who knows your sound
Yeah,
better than
true.
you. Yeah, with the influence and still the friendship of the people that are doing it in bigger studios. We now like have the money to put and invest in equipment that can get us that sound ourselves, and we each have a studio in our own house. Shout out, here goes our personal studios. So Tyler, the drummer, has the Abyss. He lives in Romeo, Michigan, which is the metro upper area of Detroit. Nick is from Grosse Pointe area of Detroit, but now is in White Lake area. I'm not giving. He was like, "Don't give away my location." And I was like, "I got you, Nikki."
My
But,
roommate's from Grosse Pointe.
oh, who?
My roommate.
Oh, really? Yeah. You
Yeah.
went to Grosse Pointe, Northern. Well,
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
northern and southern.
I just
is
know it's
huge.
nice.
Yeah,
it's
it is
nice.
definitely nice. It's nice.
with the bing bing. It's super nice. But he has his studio, Hush Harbor Studio. It's underneath a stairwell, which is really small, but for Nick. And Nick has always been the twangy kind of. He always kind of wants to strip us down and go acoustic. So me and Tyler are going to facilitate that and maybe just do him and his own stuff. Because we need to also. Nick has always like let us be this experimental thing. Because me and Tyler are doing this experimental TPK thing.
Yeah.
And then that's even branched off now into Manos Arriba, which is I want to do an all Spanish thing.
Cool.
Do the vocals in Spanish, the lyrics in Spanish, even have salsas, cumbias. And where I'm from, cumbias are really big. Cumbias are big in like Euro and in Panama. Colombia has
I went to Peru this summer and they only play cumbia everywhere. Yeah. Yep.
so Chilo has Nick. So we're always like, hey Nick, we got an idea, and Nick will be like, oh, it's not quite And
what's the
I like what you were saying in your other interview where how does the writing process work? Everything's different for every band. In the early days, like typical bands, Nick kind of came with everything because he's a songwriter.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think that's where the clashing came. Yo, bro, I'm a bassist. I can write my own part. Just give me the...
Yeah, you're like, I got it.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, nothing has come easy to me musically wise. So I needed him to... He has stripped me down to bone and then rebuilt me.
Gotcha.
And I now get a lot of compliments from a bass playing, but it is all only because of Nick and Tyler. Specifically Nick, because he has had to take away the varnish and all the stuff that I had accumulated through bad music. And no one ever wants to admit that they, at one point in their life, listened to music. It might have been trash.
Yeah, true.
But some of it, I will never probably turn back on. Shout out to 2000s era.
Shout out to, maybe you'll get hate for this, for 21 Pilots.
Yeah, no.
Really new Panic at the Disco.
New Panic is bad.
Can I expose you a little bit, Leah?
If you want. I know what you're going to say.
Jacob Sartorius.
I don't even know. Do you know who that is?
No, but...
yeah, he was like
He was like a Musical.ly kid. Leah met him. Like
What?
Musically, like TikTok. So like before TikTok was TikTok.
It does sound familiar, though.
You don't want to know who he is.
You
His
can
music
wear
is
my
so bad. I was just
sweatshirt.
having fun with my friends. That's all it was. But
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, and the band is always like, I'm always discovering new bands or bringing bands that are from like, there's another band that's from Panama. And they're called Zeta, Zeta, and they are a fusion of like, it's dope. It's Mars Volta meets cumbias meets, and that to me I think is the new evolution of where music's going. Especially because I'm not an idiot. It's cool to be Latino right now. It's cool to. I finally now everything that was weird about me and I would always hide from people is now the thing that makes me very like wanted. I've always teased the gentleman in the band like, yo, you guys knew that you guys had this essay in the band from the get. Like, it was only time before it.
There's only time before like I became the it thing.
Yeah. And it just made sense. I play bass. I'm always rocking shades. I have a thing.
Dressed
with my
very cool, by the way.
Thank you. I do try. I'm always representing the band by any way I can, by any means, even if it's embarrassing. There is. Bless you, Leah. Bless you. That was a
Sorry
good one,
to our
Shirley. No,
listeners.
shout out to sneezes.
Shout out to sneezes and tissues.
Oh, in Spanish here. I did promise you guys a little bit of Spanish. The simple bless you is salud,
Salud.
which is also salud like when you're cheersing.
Yeah.
So there's a 2 for 1. Shout out 2 for 1s.
There you
Salud.
go.
Perfect.
Yeah, shout out 2 for 1s. The future of the Honey Pot is just continue to grind, continue to push. We do need help with followers. I don't know how to get those up any more than just asking and being polite to people. I think that's how I'm going to attack it. Other than this will really help us. And even for those cats that may not be like, it's past their day or not my genre, like anything in life, give it a chance. Give it a
chance.
And the music does the work. Listen to all our albums. Start from the beginning, start from the end. If you can't take it, take a stab at one. All of them are my children, so I can't just tell you
You're
one.
gonna be like, I can't
I
tell
do
you one
eventually
song.
when maybe we can release the Dollar Bill Tree as a
Nice.
single. I think I sent that to you.
I'm pretty sure that you did.
Yeah, if you guys want to release that's coming off Neta, and that to us is the next like oof. And the production's going up, everything, and it doesn't mean we're gonna forget our roots or not. We're always going to be lo-fi garage in the sense that less is more. Nick has always been the cat to reiterate that, and in a right respectful way, because sometimes bands just take off and they just forget that they eat and poop and burp and
Yeah,
sneeze
sneeze.
and do everything that we all do. And I'm no different than you, ladies. I just happen to have a unique story that I've been wanting to get out. I again appreciate the opportunity, the platform. This doesn't fall lightly on me. I will always, you ladies will always be my first thing. Interview wise, whoa, dang, ladies,
Yes.
chill out.
Good. I'm glad
And
I
your
got.
sister came to the date sick.
No, I'm real
Yeah.
glad that I'm getting in on the ground floor. You were wonderful to have
Wow.
on the show today.
I appreciate you saying that. Like
Oh,
that to
of
me,
course.
it's humbling. It's an honor, and I leave it to you to do what you can for us and to us. It's a partnership here, though.
Yes.
Anything you need on our end, holler. DM us, the Honeypot Music on Instagram. Is the quickest way to always get at us. We're on all platforms. Shoot, I almost want to give you my number just because that's how old school I am. Like, I almost said earlier too, MySpace. Dang, I'm blowing it. Anyway,
So anyway, yes, listeners, you're going to be hearing a lot of the Honeypot's music kind of in a rotation. So feel free to Shazam that on Snapchat.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
so
Yeah,
outdated.
get on that. You'll be hearing more of that. You can stay up to date on everything about the Honeypot by following them on Instagram at the Honeypot Music, and you can always find this show on Instagram at Live Loud and Local. I'm always reposting venue posters, my favorite artists, and giving updates about the show. The best way to get on this show is by Instagram DM. And until next time, Kalamazoo, remember to bring your earplugs, and as always, tip the touring band.